We are building a partnership with the Germans to offer it to all Europeans, and this will also allow us to further consolidate the spatial dimension of our military strategy. In space, we will accelerate the use of low-orbit satellite constellations to improve connectivity and acquisition of information. In this regard, I want to say how much our spatial ambition will also be strengthened, whether civil or military, with the aim in each component to associate our German and Italian partners, among others, to strengthen European strategic autonomy, and to encourage others to follow our own strategy, which is to reduce dependence on everything that is non-European. France will organize in a few months a summit on space that will have a military component and will allow us to devote our efforts. But we want to move fast. We will also soon note additional capacity for action from the ground or space in order to improve the resilience of our space segment and its protection. Then, always to speak of these additional means to guarantee our sovereignty, we will, thanks to these progressions, continue the work that we have initiated with the Europeans to develop fires in the very great depth. This initiative that we have launched, called ELSA, makes all the sense while we have just observed for the second time the launch of a very long-range missile called Oreshnik by Russia on Ukraine. This launch is a very clear sign of a given power that has decided to equip itself with such capabilities. This message is clear, and for all those who think that Russia is a question that does not concern us, it must be received 5 out of 5. We are within reach of this launch. And so, if we want to remain credible, we Europeans, and in particular France, which has certain technologies, seize these new weapons that will change the game in the short term. And with, in particular, our German and British partners, we must advance with force on these fire capacities in the very great depth, capacities that increase our credibility and support our nuclear dissuasion. The third element of sovereignty on which we want, thanks to these accelerated overlaps, is our solar defense. Here, too, we have seen, with Ukraine, the need to go faster, the needs, and we have capacities. In particular, with our Italian and British partners, for the missiles, the new generation safety is an offer, largely French and European, which is the best in the world. It is more effective than the patriotic system. We must therefore accelerate the capacity to produce, accelerate the capacity to deploy, and reinforce, here too, our strategic autonomy and the capacity of Europeans to offer our own offer, to reduce our dependencies, to equip ourselves, to offer it to other Europeans, and more. These 3 additional means of sovereignty will be either built or accelerated thanks to these overlaps, and they are necessary. Thirdly, the capacity of the armed forces to engage in the short term will be improved and accelerated. This third objective is declined through several lines of action. It is about improving the protection of our forces, defense, air surface, anti-drone struggle, war in the electromagnetic field, where we have seen each time the need to go faster because the competition is stronger. We must then modernize our armed forces model, particularly with all types of drones for the 3 armies, and on this we must go faster because we have seen the capacity of innovation and acceleration in the Ukrainian theater. And let's be clear, we are behind. We are behind because the Ukrainians have innovated tremendously, because partners and industrialists from other nations have been faster than us and have perhaps taken them less seriously. And today, there is a production on European soil that is better and more in mass than the one we have. Let's react quickly and strongly. We still need to invest in breakthrough innovations, quantum, artificial intelligence. We have formidable companies, Capacities are being strengthened, and we must finally strengthen the capacities of terrestrial combat, naval combat, aviation, combat, and transport. These breakthroughs also include, for the period 2026-2030, an effort of more than €2 billion for the national service. The recruitment campaign has just begun this week, and in September, the first calls for the national service will take their place to strengthen the ranks of our armies and strengthen the resilience of the nation. This decision, announced a few weeks ago in Vars, is a decisive step for our armies, for our nation. It reinforces the pact armée nation, which is at the heart of our republic. It allows our armies to have the skills they need, but also to start doing what we need for the reserve. It also allows our youth to be more committed. I know I can count on this. I know the will of our youth to commit, while being collectively up to their aspiration, their ideal, and their ambition to serve a great cause, that of France. I know I can count on you, who constitute the professional army, for this new mission. The quality of the welcome of the calls, as well as the committed and, as you know, decisive for the integration of the youth, the radiance of our institution, and the success of the launch of the national service. Thank you to the Minister for launching this project, and to all of you for carrying it. Finally, as you know, guaranteeing the military condition in my capacity as Chief of the Armies, I attach great importance to what those who made the choice to serve up to the supreme sacrifice receive from the nation, a just recognition. The strength of our armies rests, first of all, on the quality of the women and men recruited, and the ability to loyalty to them. This is why, in accordance with the report of the High Committee on Evaluation and Military Condition, its president presents me every year. I have been watching for 9 years to improve, to commit what must be. This is why I have personally watched out for what the soldiers, during the NCOs, and finally, in December 2025, the officers benefit from a recovery from their initial crisis, in parallel with the new policy of remuneration put in place. This is why the family plans, the injured plans, the Fidelization 360 plan have been implemented. They go in the right direction. And it is appropriate, Madam Minister, to continue on this path. I ask you in particular to accelerate the measures in favor of the injured, especially the psychological injured, and to make an assessment of this plan before July 13th. This is what I wanted to come back to at this moment of the vows, by clarifying the update of the military program, and by coming back to these essential issues to support our armies. But allow me, in this place, at this moment, to speak of the context in which we live, and what it implies for us. History does not forgive impreparation or weakness. Our armies and all our armies, as well as all the support services in particular, are our life insurance. And the nuclear dissuasion, just as much, on which I will soon have the opportunity to express myself again, is the key. All the efforts I have just mentioned, and those that we will continue to do, compete to get us ready at the height of the dangers. And I know in this regard to be able to count on the minister, the delegated minister, and all the parliamentarians, so that the update of the military program can be adopted by July 14th.